Of the world's top players are here at the PartyPoker.net World Tenpin Masters to see who can take the pressure and win that $30,000 first prize.
We're at the Metrodome in Barnsley in the north of England with this unique format, a single lane, passionate fans and a quality international field for the 10th year of this prestigious event. Women have a great record here. Charlene Zulkifli of Malaysia won in 2001. The most successful competitor is Tori Torgersen of Norway. 3 wins in 9 years. The second woman to win, England's Nikki Harvey in 2003. Peng Nepomuceno of the Philippines won back in 1999. But the man to beat this year is the defending champion Chris Barnes, the American out to retain the trophy. There's the draw, 16 of the world's best male and female players, 12 countries head-to-head in a straight knockout. Each match played over 2 games. The player with the highest aggregate points total goes through. Previous winners there include Jens Nickel and Paul Moore. But first up, Chris Barnes opens his defence against Zara Glover of England.
This year, 16 of the world's greatest 10-pin bowlers are competing for a prize pool of $70,000. Now, they'll go head-to-head in the first game, and if they lose, they're out. If they win, they're through to the quarter-finals. The competition is fierce. Now, let's see who we've got lined up for the first game of the PartyPoker.net World 10-pin Masters.
Hi, I'm Zara Glover, and tonight I'm playing Chris Barnes.
I'm Chris Barnes from the United States, the defending champion from the World 10-pin Masters.
All the pressure's on his shoulders.
She's bowled fabulously in this event before. It's not the greatest draw for me.
I've got as good a chance as anybody. I'm just going to do my best and see what happens.
I'm sure I'll give her best effort, and I'll have my hands full tonight.
Time now to join your Master of Ceremonies, John McDonald.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to the Metrodome here in Barnsley. It's the PartyPoker.net World 10-Pin Masters, brought to you by Matchroom Sport. Well, 16 players have assembled here on this purpose-built single lane to lift that coveted title and $30,000. Well, without further ado, let's meet our players then. Firstly, would you please welcome from Kansas, USA, and he is the reigning and defending World 10-Pin Master, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Barnes.
37-year-old Chris Barnes had a 12-day purple patch back in 2006, picking up $330,000 by winning the Tournament of Champions, Roll to Riches and the World 10-Pin Masters. The big right-hander also starred on the winning Weber Cup team.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Lancashire and the 3 times champion of the world, it's England's Zara Glover.
25-year-old Zara plays here for the 4th time but has yet to win in round 1. Known as Zed, the right-hander has won championships as far apart as San Marino in Indonesia. Ranked number 2 in Europe, she was also runner-up in the European Ladies Masters. Time now to join your commentators Cass Edwards and Simon Golding.
Time then for the opening match of this PartyPoker.net World 10-Pin Masters. And first up, it's another one of those battle of the sexes that this unique tournament delivers. But what a battle it's going to be. The man in the blue, Chris Barnes from the USA, PBA legend, and now World 10-Pin Masters legend, the defending champion. He says there's only one thing he'd like to be more in bowling, and that's a left-hander, but Cass, he does pretty well with his right.
One of the biggest money winners on the professional tour in the United States. Chris has had a big win so far this year, and has come across the pond to try and defend his title again.
nickname, son of Jor-El, just to explain that. That's a Superman reference. That's the kind of status that this guy has back in the USA. US Open winner and Champion of Champions winner. I mean, that was an incredible run, wasn't it, when he amassed some $300,000 in something like 12 days?
Absolutely, yes. Nice work if you can get it, isn't it? $330,000 in 12 days were his winnings, and that was just last year alone.
Just sitting down at the moment, waiting to get on with her 2 practice balls. Zara Glover, the 25-year-old from England, 3-time world champion back in 2003. But Cass Edwards alongside me in the commentary box, she knows just as well as all of us do that on this lane, in this format, in this tournament, you can beat anyone.
Simon, you're quite right. Yes, this is actually quite a short format for these international bowlers. They normally play between 20 and 30 games in a tournament. This is just 2 games. Aggregate score goes through, the highest number of pins bowled, and unfortunately the loser will be going home.
Well, Zed, as she's known to all of us here, hasn't had the best of records here at the World Tenpin Masters. Hasn't made it past the first round so far, but to me, Cass, she just looks a lot more relaxed this year. Does seem to get quite nervy when she comes out onto the stage, but finally Zara looks comfortable, looks confident.
Going back to what you said, yes, first round loser for the last 2 or 3 years, but she has come up against some fantastic opponents last year. Jason Belmonte was the winner against her. Previous to that, she's played Lasse Lintilä, and I believe it was Kai Vatanen from Finland. So, yeah, she's really up against it. And this year, she's drawn, well, the man that Paul Moore called one of the best players on the planet, Chris Barnes.
2 games, and the best aggregate score will progress through to the next round. You've got to be off the mark quick. Ominous Barnes opener. He won't be too pleased with that. He felt he got a reasonably good pocket hit, but just left the 10-pin.
Well, from where I was sitting, it looked pretty good. Just a little bit soft in the pocket, leaves the 10-pin standing, and brings out his silver hard spare ball, and just rolls it across the lane nicely, and takes that spare away.
Different ball for the spare Cass. They just like it to go nice and straight, hit the target.
Yeah, much harder surface ball of the spare balls, made of plastic polyester. But there you see his first shot right up into the pocket, just a fraction light, what we call a soft 10.
So a little glint of daylight early doors for Zara Glover, taking her time. So important to get the best possible start. And a very similar result, very similar hit, very similar result.
Absolutely, yes, that 10-pin in the corner yet again. After quite a nice pocket hit, here we see Zara. Nice deep knee bend, very steady at the line there, and that ball just turns up nicely into the pocket. Unfortunately, the 6-pin doesn't quite kick that 10-pin out, so again, that comes a nice sort of mottled hard ball. Just about hangs on to take the spare, so we're all level after frame 1.
Little nod of respect between the 2 opponents. That's something you'll see on a regular basis on the World Tenpin Masters stage. Players will very often tap hands in appreciation of each other's shots. So Chris Barnes' second delivery, you get the feeling he's not going to let the same thing happen again. And the same thing does happen again. So, yeah, wow, exactly. He's an absolute technician out on the lanes, is Chris Barnes, and he's just trying to come to terms with what is happening out there.